The time is precisely 6:15. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here's the news edited by Lal Malawarachi and read by Rumesh Piris. The headlines. The Railway Department informed striking engine drivers failure to report to duty will be considered to have vacated their posts. Short-distance rail services have been disrupted by the ongoing strike. A compensation of 500,000 rupees will be given to the family of the youth who died after falling from a train. President Ranil Wickremesinghe leaves for Cuba to attend the G77 plus China summit. 3,500 students will be enrolled for nurse training this year. President Secretary urges enhanced collaboration for effective development planning. Russia donates 352 tons of sunflower oil consignment to Sri Lanka. In news overseas, more than 5,000 dead after Libyan floods. In sports, Lasith Malinga praises Dunith Wellalage for his superb bowling performance at the Asia Cup. Now the local news in detail. The Department of Railways has urged the 84 railway engine drivers who are on strike to report for duty immediately. Meanwhile, the department has also notified these engine drivers that in the event of their failure to report for duty, they will be considered to have vacated their posts, adding that the relevant letters would be sent out to their homes by tomorrow. The Department of Railways says a total of 150 scheduled trains were cancelled thus far today due to the ongoing strike action. However, at least 47 trains, including Colombo-bound night mail trains, were in operation this morning despite the ongoing trade union action. The Deputy General Manager of Railways, V.S. Polwatha, said the long-distance rail services will be operated as scheduled. Sri Lanka Army personnel have been deployed to provide security to the Colombo Fort and the Maradana railway stations, says the Department of Railways. The department added that it stands ready to deploy security forces to other railway stations as well if the need arises. Separately, a sum of 500,000 rupees will be given to the family of the youth who died after falling from the roof of a train yesterday, flying from Kandy to Colombo, as per a decision made by the Sri Lanka Railways Department. This was confirmed by the Minister of Transport, Dr. Bandula Gunawardena, today. President Ranil Wickremesinghe left for Cuba this morning to address the G77 plus China Leaders Summit. The summit, themed Current Development Challenges, Role of Science, Technology and Innovation, is scheduled to take place from the 15th to the 16th of this month in Havana. President Wickremesinghe's participation in the summit comes as a result of an official invitation from the Cuban President Miguel Diaz-Canel. The Ministry of Health has decided to recruit 3,500 students for nurse training this year. Applications will be called online from the 15th to the 18th of this month. Further details are available at the website www.health.gov.lk. Meanwhile, Health Minister Keheli Rambukwella has instructed the ministry officials to take necessary steps to immediately recruit 1,000 vacancies for the nursing service. In a statement, the ministry stated that there are about 3,000 nurse vacancies in the country's health sector. The minister has given instructions to the officials to implement as a policy the program of keeping stock of medicines in the country for the period of 1 year instead of 3 to 4 months. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
People's Bank Excelsior. Live the life you want.
Continuing with more local news. President Secretary Saman Ekanayaka, in a letter addressed to all secretaries to the ministries, provincial chief secretaries, district secretaries and divisional secretaries, has emphasized the critical importance of enhancing communication and collaboration between government officials and political authorities at both district and divisional levels. The letter highlights concerns regarding the existing gap in effective coordination between government and semi-government institutions, district development committees and divisional development committees. This disconnect has posed significant challenges, obstructing the successful execution of vital development projects, the President's Media Division reported. Mr. Ekanayaka's letter further draws attention to the persistent complaints filed by chairpersons of district development committees and divisional development committees with President Ranil Wickremesinghe. These complaints have raised issues related to the obstacles faced in development work arising from insufficient coordination between political authorities and government officials. Minister of Power and Energy Kanchana Wijesekara said plans are currently underway by the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation to implement the daily amount automated price revision system for next year. The matter was discussed at a meeting held between the Minister, the CPC Dealers Association and the other CPC officials, Minister Wijesekara revealed in a Twitter statement. Accordingly, the Minister stated that the CPC dealers were briefed on the CPC's plans to implement a daily automated price revising system from 2024 and to automate all fuel dispensing and stock-taking facilities with new equipment. And that concludes local news.
People's Bank Excelsior, a comprehensive banking services package with a branded checkbook as well as debit and credit card exclusively for you. People's Bank Excelsior, for professionals who dare to dream.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
In the main news story, the Russian embassy in Sri Lanka announced that the Russian Federation has handed over a consignment of sunflower oil to Sri Lanka in an emergency operation to support those affected by the economic crisis in Sri Lanka. Accordingly, the cargo addressed to the people of Sri Lanka containing the consignment of 352 metric tons of sunflower oil fortified with vitamins A and D has been ceremoniously handed over to Sri Lanka with the participation of the Russian ambassador to Sri Lanka. The donated consignment of sunflower oil will be distributed in the country through the World Food Programme. And that was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
In Watchlight this evening, the National Dengue Control Unit states that nearly 1,000 dengue patients have been reported within the days that have elapsed in the month of September. The director of the NDCU, Dr. Nalin Ariratne, emphasized that there is a risk of high dengue mosquito density in certain areas due to the prevailing rainfall. Dr. Ariratne added that nearly 63,000 dengue cases have been reported thus far in 2023 across the country. Around 1,000 dengue patients have been identified within the past 12 days in the month of September. And that came to you in Watchlight.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
It's the power to live life your way. The power to be a trendsetter. Power to you with digital banking from Commercial Bank. Commercial Bank. Our interest is in you.
And moving on to the World News Bulletin, first the headlines. More than 5,000 dead after Libyan floods. Kim Jong-un heads home after Putin toasts North Korean friendship. India's Kerala state on alert after Nipah virus deaths. And now the world news. More than 5,300 people have died after floods in the Libyan city of Derna, a local minister says. The number could double, the Minister for the Eastern Administration adds. The floods burst 2 dams in the eastern coastal city and swept away homes. Streets are covered in mud and rubble and are littered with upturned vehicles. Libya is divided between 2 rival governments, with one operating from Tripoli and another one in the east. Kim Jong-un is heading back to the North Korea after a summit with Vladimir Putin in Russia. Putin says Kim will visit other sites in Russia before crossing the border on his armored train. The 2 leaders met at the Vostochny Cosmodrome in Russia's Far East. After dinner, the Russian leader toasted Kim's health and the 2 countries' friendship. Putin says Russia will help North Korea build satellites after the North failed twice this year to launch them. The southern Indian state of Kerala has issued an alert after it confirmed that 2 people have died from the rare Nipah virus. One of the deaths occurred earlier this month, while the other took place on the 30th of August, both in the state of Kozhikode districts, officials said. 2 relatives of the victim have also tested positive for the virus and are being treated in hospital. This is the 4th Nipah outbreak in Kerala since 2018. Back to the headlines of the world news. More than 5,000 dead after Libyan floods. Kim Jong-un heads home after Putin toasts North Korean friendship. And Indian state of Kerala is on alert after Nipah virus deaths. And that concludes World News.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
This message is for all the kids between the ages of 4 and 16 who love to draw. Commercial Bank's Arunalu Sittam is back once again. This time, the competition is also open to Sri Lankan kids currently living abroad. First, second and third place prizes will be awarded along with special merit and merit certificates. For more information, visit the Commercial Bank website. We have so many prizes to be won.
Development News.
In development news, the Agriculture Ministry has decided to set up a third sour banana export processing factory at Muravasihena in Hambantota. Agriculture Minister Mahinda Amaravira says agreements have been made to start the third sour banana export processing zone covering Ambelipitiya, Hambantota and Sevanagala by cultivating 800 acres at a cost of 65 million rupees. The first sour banana export processing zone and processing centre was established in Rajanganaya. The second sour banana export processing zone has been established in Jaffna. The ministry has taken measures to expand sour banana cultivation on 800 acres in Rajanganaya and 400 acres in Jaffna. And that was development news. And moving on to sports news. It's cricket. Former cricketer Lasith Malinga has praised Tunit Wellalage after the young spinner had India's high-profile top order in a spin with a superb bowling performance at the Asia Cup. Wellalage picked up his maiden 5-wicket haul at senior international level when collecting the outstanding figures of 5 for 40 against India at the Asia Cup on Tuesday, and Malinga was suitably impressed. Malinga took to social media immediately after Sri Lanka's clash to praise the efforts of Wellalage, and the Sri Lanka's great believes the young spinner has a bright future ahead of him. And that was sports news.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak thiyana youth ekata life ekේ change ekata niyameta set wenna as wahagena dakapu veena habe karanna youth ekata niyameta set wenna friendship ekaka menna. The all new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Moving on to business news, the Cabinet has approved a proposal for Ceylon Petroleum Corporation to purchase 92-octane unleaded petrol from Vitol Asia for the next 4 months. 4 shipments of petrol will be supplied between the 21st of September this year to the 21st of January 2024. The Singapore unit of energy and commodities trader Vitol has supplied Sri Lanka's government-run oil refiner and retailer with petrol and diesel in the past as well.
Go ekak thiyana youth ekata life ekේ change ekata niyameta set wenna as wahagena dakapu veena habe karanna youth ekata niyameta set wenna friendship ekaka menna. The all new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
And moving on to economic news. Justice Minister Vijayadasa Rajapaksa says Sri Lanka is in the process of opening up its education sector with crucial reforms to change its state sector-led universities to private sector-led investments to ensure professionalism and increase employability. The minister said the reforms are inevitable to change the country's education system. The government proposes to formulate a state policy which will be approved by the parliament, and that policy will be changed with the change of government or ministers. And that was economic news.
Weather report.
And finally, moving on to the weather report, the Meteorology Department forecast showers will occur at times in the western, Sabaragama and northwestern provinces and in the Kandy, Nuwara Eliya, Galle and Matara districts. A few showers may occur in the Hambantota district, it said. Showers or thunder showers may occur at few places in the Uva province and in the Batiklo, Ampara districts during the evening or at night. Fairly heavy strong winds, about 40 to 45 kilometers per hour, can be expected at times on the western slopes of the hills, of the central hills, northern, north-central and northwestern provinces and in the Trincomalee and Hambantota districts. And that was the weather report. To conclude this news broadcast, a recap of the main news headlines. The Railway Department informed striking engine drivers' failure to report to duty will be considered to have vacated their posts. Short-distance rail services have been disrupted by the ongoing strike. A compensation of 500,000 rupees will be given to the family of the youth who died after falling from a train. President Ranil Wickremesinghe leaves for Cuba to attend the G77 plus China summit. 3,500 students will be enrolled for nursing training this year. President's secretary urges enhanced collaboration for effective development planning. Russia donates 352 tons of sunflower oil consignment to Sri Lanka. In foreign news, more than 5,000 dead after Libyan floods. And in sports, Lasith Malinga praises Dunit Veladage for his superb bowling performance at the Asia Cup. And that concludes this news broadcast.